write a satisfying story where the villain wins? This question came up in the comments section of one of my videos. The person wrote, I know everyone makes a lot of heroes who end up offing the villain at the end and the world gets saved, but is it a good idea to write one where the villain wins? So, can your villain win in the end? And if so, will the story be satisfying? Let's talk about it. Having the villain win in the end is definitely a non-traditional choice, but you do see it a lot in stories where there's going to be a follow-up or sequel. For instance, in The Empire Strikes Back, Luke does not win the final showdown with Darth Vader. But this is okay, because it leaves us with something that needs to be resolved in the next movie, The Return of the Jedi. So when you have a trilogy, duology, or otherwise, it is perfectly alright for the hero to not win in the end, provided there is a follow-up story coming, which is going to resolve things once and for all. But what if you have a standalone story? Can the villain win then? I mean, of course the villain can win, it's your story, you can do whatever you want. But the thing you've got to keep in mind is that however your story concludes, the end still needs to be satisfying. And this is important. A satisfying ending is usually one where the protagonist has changed for the better. So if you can write a story where the villain wins, but the protagonist is still changed for the better by the whole experience, then it's very likely your story will still be satisfying. Now there's one more thing I want to talk about with regards to this topic, and that's the genre of tragedy. Tragedies are unique from other stories in that they usually end with the protagonist much worse off than before. Often the absolute worst off you can be. But tragedies still have to leave the audience with some bit of hope to hold on to. The reason a tragedy happens is because of a tragic flaw. Like in Othello, when he allows himself to succumb to jealousy. If he hadn't become jealous, then the tragedy would never have happened. So if you're going to end your story in a place where the protagonist has lost everything they love, or worse, you've got to have a message behind it. What this means is that the audience has to know how to avoid a similar tragedy. The message behind Othello is to not allow yourself to be overcome with jealousy. If you can avoid doing that, so the play proposes, you will escape the tragedy of losing everything you love. I hope this helps. Let me know if you have any other questions about this topic, and indeed if you have thoughts of your own to contribute to the discussion.